Hey guys, what's up? Hope y'all having a good day out there today, and welcome back for another edition of Mental Mondays. And I got to tell you guys right off the bat, this is my favorite part of doing these YouTube videos. If I could just do nothing but talk about mental stuff that we've been talking about, I do it all the time, because to me it's the most important thing as far as in fishing in a lot of different areas as well. And I want to thank everybody that's tuning in, because most of the subscribers to this channel do not tune into this thing. And I know that people that do are really serious about their fishing. And I know the people that aren't serious about the mental part of fishing, their potential is very limited if they cut themselves off from that. So anyway, today's topic, what I want to talk about is I'm going to talk about living in the present, how critical that is to live fully in the present. And I want to, go into detail about this from a lot of different areas, and sort of give you lessons I've learned over the years, over my lifetime, that I think will definitely help you out and save you a lot of the same problems that I had to go through to learn to get to where I'm at today. So anyway, guys, let's talk a little bit about this. And when I talk about this mental stuff here, I talk about it every week. You got to sort of bear with me, because most of this stuff that I'm talking about, I've never talked about it before. It's just in my mind. So it'd be easier to write it down on a piece of paper. But when I'm talking about it, I'm having to think about what I'm going to say before I even know what I'm going to say. So I'll try to get through it as best as I can. So anyway, one of the big problems that society has in general, and I've been guilty of it too, and I still am from time to time, is we don't live in the moment. We don't live in the now, in the present. And what most people do, or what a lot of people do, is they either live in the past. And when you live in the past, basically, there's a lot of sadness that's associated with that. So if you're somebody that lives in the past, sadness is attached to the past, regardless of what you're thinking about. I mean, it could be a memory of losing somebody. It could be a memory of something you accomplished that you don't have now. It could be something like your heyday in high school, if you're a captain of the football team. But we have a tendency, some people have a tendency to live in the past a lot. Now, there's nothing wrong with, memories and thinking back, to memories. I think we all need to do that. I mean, but a lot of people spend a lot of energy and time living in the past, which creates sadness. Living in the past will create sadness for you, I can guarantee. And you can even apply it over to bass fishing. If you live in the past in your bass fishing, a lot of times, you limit yourself to, a lot of learning. And you may say, well, yeah, Randy, you're living in the past because you don't like to use modern day electronics. That's not what I'm talking about here. I don't like to use modern electronics because I think it takes away the mystery and the magic of the sport. Not that I'm living in 1979. So that's one thing that I think a lot of people just have to be aware of. And on the other end of that spectrum, a lot of people spend all their time living in the future, living for what's coming next. And if you do that, you create anxiety for yourself. One of the most important things to remember that I can share with you guys: living in the past creates sadness. Living in the future creates anxiety. For the unknown. You don't know what's out there. And I think one of the things that we as a society, including myself, I had to work through, we are always living in the future. We're always thinking about what's next. We can't ever be satisfied where we're at right now. And you're thinking about what you're going to have for dinner at night. You're thinking about, you're fishing on a Saturday, and you're thinking about, if you're going to be fishing a month from now. Or if you're a tournament fisherman, you start thinking about the tournament that's coming up this spring or something. And it's extremely easy to do. It's extremely easy to let your mind wander into the past or into the future, which does not, that serves you no purpose, because neither one of those are real, guys. The past is not real. The future is not real. The only thing that is real is the present moment that you have. And it is so critical to discipline yourself to live fully in the moment. And I don't care if you're spending time with friends and family. I don't care if you're on the water, if you're in a tournament situation, whatever. it takes a conscious effort to put all of your energy, block out everything that is distracting you, usually from the past, usually from the present, something you got to do or something you've done, and completely live in the moment, in the now, in the present fully. When you do that, that is when you really experience life to the fullest. And I'll be honest with you guys, that was one of the biggest things I always struggled with my whole life. Is I didn't appreciate what was going on here and now. I was always thinking to what was next. And I see this as one of the most common problems in our society today. It really wasn't until, I mean, I've been aware of this for a long time. I mean, I've been aware of this concept for over 30 years. And I just sporadically had moments where I was fully immersed in the present. But so many times I found myself in the past or the future. It wasn't really until I had my son Elijah that I forced myself to absorb and fully enjoy the moment, because I know, like, and if you guys that have kids, you know what I'm talking about. You know that as your kids grow up and you have their 1-year-old, their 2-year-old, their 3-year-old, you know that's not going to be here forever. That's a fleeting moment. And I knew that every second, every spare moment I've been with Elijah, I know that those moments are fleeting. So it forced me to focus my efforts completely in the moment and in the present. And in doing so, it just made life so much more richer and so much more fuller and so much more real. And what I'm talking about here, you know, it's a concept that I don't think it's foreign to anybody. I mean, you hear that concept all the time about living in the moment, appreciating the moment, but it's not easy to do. I mean, think about it. I mean, every single person out there that's watching this, think about how much time in a day that you spend out of the moment, where you're thinking about what you're going to do next, or you're thinking about something that happened before. We live there. That's the place that we live in our society more than anything. And I think a lot of it is that we're not taught at a young age to cherish and value the present moment. I think it's just something that comes with maybe the way our society functions. But I think one of the biggest gifts that you can give yourself and people around you is to just, you know, fully appreciate and every moment that you have, because we don't have any guarantees, guys. Nobody out there has any guarantees. You may not wake up tomorrow. I mean, you may wake up, 75 years from now, but ultimately there's no guarantees in life. Therefore, you better just appreciate every moment that you have. And in doing so, when you appreciate every moment that you have in the present moment, it also creates better memories for you. I mean, it's something that it adds up to your memory bank that you can store the rest of your life. And one of the, if I can look back at my life so far, one of the things that I wish that I would have learned at an early age was to be aware of this and to be able to mentally discipline myself to do that, because I think it's one of the hardest things that we have in the human experience, is to fully absorb the moment that we're in. But anyway, that's what I want to talk about today. That's today's mental tip. If I could leave you with anything, is just come away with this. The realization is, you can, keep your memories, cherish your memories, but don't live there. Don't sweat what's going to happen tomorrow. One of the things my dad always told me, he said, Randy, quit worrying about things that probably aren't even going to happen, which he was talking about living in the moment that creates anxiety. I remember when I was a kid and I used to do that, he'd tell me that all the time. And, just live as much and appreciate the moment that you're in. And it doesn't matter if you're, having a cup of coffee in the morning. It doesn't matter if you're driving to work. It doesn't matter if you're talking with friends. Just fully immerse yourself in the moment of that experience. Life will become much more richer for you, I can promise you. So anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated with that. Like I said, I definitely don't take for granted you guys that are tuning in to Mental Mondays. It's a special group of people that are joining me for this. So thanks again, and we'll talk to y'all later.